Well, greetings again. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt with the American Orthodontic Society, and I'm going to show how follicular cysts work with us or help us to some extent, or it creates problems. It's a force that can move the teeth, and on deciduous teeth it'll eat the whole root structure away, but it won't eat the enamel part of their tooth. And so you need to understand that if you're going to work with children and doing this, and you need to understand follicular movement of teeth in everybody in doing orthodontics. So let's get started on this case, and it has this young lady. Now you've seen this case. We showed it with ectopically erupting teeth, but I didn't bring out the area of what follicular force was working at the same time we were working on this tooth. And so I'm going to show that along with this. This is a neat little girl, and we enjoyed working on her. We would kid her, and she just come right back at us. And so anyway, she had this ectopically erupting 6-year molar, and you've seen it. And we put this spring on there and put it over here. As it raises this top of tooth up, you don't try to straighten this tooth with this tooth, because it won't have any roots on it to speak of. And you're using this tooth right here. We carried this spring up and hooked it on this arch wire, and they put the arch wire through here and bonded. You didn't need any brackets. You could have just bonded the wire to these teeth and put this hook over. This hook goes over like that, and you can't see that too good. I'm going to erase those lines, but you see this come in here. This hook actually was down here. We raised this bar up, hooked it over here, and now as this tooth comes out of there, this hooked part will slide down this. And that is all you need to know about ectopically erupting teeth. And why in the devil do they think that a pediatric dentist, or any dentist as far as that's concerned, doesn't know how to do that? It is such a simple thing. All you have to do is uncover the side of the tooth, bond a tube on here. That's a rectangular tube. You make this little spring, and I'll show it in a minute. Stick it in here. It bolts out here. Raise it up, and put this hook in. You put the hook right behind a bonded area on there. You don't even need the brackets here. You just bond that wire on here, bond it here, bond it back here, and hook it up like that. All right. This spring is down here. We pick it up, and it pushes that tooth back in that direction. We'll show that on the x-ray. Now here it is after it has done the work. This hook, you see this spring came out of here, and it was down here, and coming down here. Now we added down here, and we pulled it up here, tighten that spring up, makes it want to work. And here the hook was like that. Well, actually it came in from the outside and went over and hooked that like that. And it moved from here over to here, and the tooth moved back here, showed that this went that distance right there. And now this tooth is there. We got to keep it and bring it forward up into this gap. Now there the tooth is a plain picture of ectopically erupted teeth. And that is an insult to pediatric dentists or anybody doing children to think that you got to send this person to an orthodontist to get that done. She just took an electrosurge, went down and trimmed the tissue off of that, bonded a rectangular tube on here, took this, made this little spring, it comes over here, and then it comes down like that. It would be coming off here. We bend it down, we put this hook in it, we push it up in that tube, bend this thing down, and it tightens that spring. Now it's down here, it's wanting to come down this way. It'll pick this tooth up, and I don't care who it is, how old they are, what nationality they are, what color their skin is, anything else. It will upright any tooth you put it on. And if you don't get it on there right, don't blame it on this thing as to not work. It does its job. I have never seen an ectopically erupted tooth or a tilted tooth of any kind that we couldn't straighten up with a spring like that. Just hook it up and raise it up, and it'll cock that tooth. Now, as this tooth goes out, watch another thing. The roots of it are down in here. This is a permanent tooth. It's got roots down here. So as it comes up, it rotates something around here. So this crown is going to move away from this part right here. It'll move back here. Now you keep this force on it and pull on it, and you'll pull it up there and close that space up. Now, this tooth here was half eaten out, but the nerve is not dead or anything. It just absorbs it. And the other part of this root was sticking over here somewhere, and it holds the tooth in place. You get the 6-year molar up here, and it stays and holds this as a space maintainer. Now your bicuspid is underneath there. If you leave this tooth alone, then they will lose this whole tooth, and this 6-year molar will come up all the way to here. And now your bicuspid, when it gets ready to come in there, it is a mess. And if you take this person, you see this developing when they're, say, 8 or 9, or they don't have anything else in there going, or maybe it's earlier than that. They go in and correct this erupting 6-year molar. And it may not need, if you go in time and slip a separator in there while this crown is just pushed up against that baby tooth, you can sometimes save it without doing all this work. So anyway, the work is there, and we will do that. Let's see. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish that out. Let me carry it on further. Now see, that tooth was like that. Here is our drawing of this. Now see this root right here, it is eaten away. Now this spring, we hook it up here. This tooth will go back in this direction. Now it's part of the way up now. And this follicle is continuing to eat that root, and you see there's not as much root there as there was. Now we go to the next picture. This hook was over here, it's slid back there. This crown was down underneath here, it moved back there. The follicle around this erupting 6-year molar back here went underneath here and ate this root out, and it just completely got rid of it back in this area back here, and there's nothing left holding that tooth in place except this root right up here. Now that's what we want to keep that root there, and then we keep this force on this tooth and move the tooth bodily forward, and that'll move the root, and the crown will come up here like such. Let me see if we got a picture of that. All right, it was like that to start with. It raised it up, pulled it up. We got it up there. Now we pull that tooth up, so we got a little space like that. And here it was again, the picture of it. Now there's a follicle around this tooth, and it's eating this root away, see? It doesn't abscess or anything else, it just absorbs that root of the baby tooth. But it's not supposed to absorb the root of the permanent tooth, it butts against it. But I have one case that it did. It cut a couple of permanent teeth in two coming across there. Now, as that tooth goes up there, this slides back. Any dentist can make this thing, and you can just bond this wire on these teeth and get your tube that sits over here. It handles a rectangular wire and put it in there. And this wire goes out here, and you pull it up, hook it on there, and it kicks that tooth back and makes it roll in that direction. And here the little girl is, and we finished that out, and that's her pictures. A neat little girl, beautiful hair, everything, and we were able to save that tooth and get it back there, and then the permanent bicuspid, second bicuspid underneath there had plenty of room to come in. Now, you need to understand, though, the follicle around that 6-year molar had absorbed the root structure that it came in contact with. I mean, the tooth didn't touch it, just the follicle. It absorbs deciduous teeth completely. If you leave a crown set up there, it'll eat the inside of the crown out, and you'll have a shell there that's nothing but enamel when you get through with it. So I hope you understand how this follicle works, and that's normally it will not eat a permanent tooth away, but once in a while. And I've got a case, and I think it's already in a video where the cuspid tooth came in and the follicle cut about half the root off of the central and a good bit of it off of a lateral tooth, permanent teeth. So anyway, we'll finish this out, and thank you for watching, and join our group. We have over 1,000 videos now explaining everything I can think about in here, except I don't screw around with cephalometrics. I take the ceph, but that's not what tells me what to do. I can see what to do more than I can get done on these cases. I do take the ceph, and I can see the airway and other things in it, but it is not what I am going to do. It's what I need to know. Now, so anyway, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you for watching, and I'll close out here.